What's up everybody? I'm David Funk here at Camp Rhino in Las Vegas, and today I'm discussing using partner techniques to conquer the 8-foot wall. Now the most important thing is, this is the obstacle, this is your partner. Not treat your partner like the obstacle. So don't just go running up, kicking them in the face and pulling hair trying to get over. Because if you kill your partner, they can't help you over, and no one else is going to help you after seeing that. Since I've got a background in entertainment, I like to use hand balancing terms when I'm referring to the people. I use the person who's helping people over the wall, I call them the base, and the person who's actually going over the wall, the flyer. So do what you will with it. The one thing I do want you to remember though is, like I said earlier, you guys are working together, so it's going to be a back and forth type of relationship, which means the word of the day is wait. I've seen a few different bad ways of helping people over the wall, but this has to be the absolute worst. This is just begging for disaster because, like I said, a wide base is a stable base. So if you're looking at me, there's nothing wide about this base, okay? Not to mention that I'm only about a foot off the wall. So the flyer, if they're trying to come in, if they try and stand up, then they're practically straight up and down. So they're more likely to lose their balance because their feet are so close to the wall. Not to mention the fact that most of the people I see do not provide a hand for it because they're leaning against the wall like this to try and support themselves. So they're not assisting at all. The person is standing directly on their leg, and if that person like steps on this side of their knee, bam, it either hits the wall or just twists the leg like this. Or if they do manage to get onto it, when they're trying to push this way to get over the wall, they're gonna push the leg this way, and it's just, there's so many ways this is bad. The position you want to be in is basically a wall sit. If you don't know what that is, then you probably go about 1 or 2 feet away from the wall, enough so where you can kind of lean back and feel it. You don't want to do trust falls here. And you're going to lean back onto the wall and then go into a deep squat where you want to feel your weight pushing back into the wall. Like if the wall weren't there, you just fall flat to your back, okay? From there, you want your legs at, I like 45 degrees. You don't need to do the full splits, but you don't want them right next to each other because a wide base is a stable base. So the wider you can get it, the more stable you're gonna be in this position. We're basically creating a triangle. So if you look down, you see a nice V, and then we've got a triangle between the body and the knees. You want your feet either directly under your knees or out a little bit more if you're more comfortable that way. The only thing you don't want is your feet closer to the wall than your knees. You don't want them back under your legs, because especially when someone starts climbing on you, it puts a lot of stress on your knees and it's not comfortable, it's not good for your knees, so you want those feet out. Now, your first move as the base, you're gonna be in your wall sit. The flyer's gonna come up, and they're either gonna pick a side or you can ask them which side they're comfortable with, and you're going to interlock your fingers and put it over the corresponding knee. Now you wanna do this for a few reasons. A, that way you're taking the weight with your arms and the knee is just there for support. Also, the leg is round, so people will tend to stand on it and maybe not get, it's a lot harder to stand in the center of a round object versus a flat object. Also, if you're like me, I've got skinny chicken legs, so it's a really hard target to stand on. So I want to give them a nice, wide, flat surface to stand on. And that's what my hands are for. I do not want to clamp down. I don't want to grab their foot, because when they try and step up, if they lose their balance or they just had a bad step or anything like that, and they need to go back to the ground, if I've got a death grip on their foot, then when they try and go back, it pretty much guarantees that they're gonna fall. So when they step up onto me, I just wanna keep those hands nice and open. All I'm giving them is a shelf to stand on right now. Wait. Once they're up, that's when I'm going to give them a little more height. And it doesn't come from the arms. I don't need to be super strong up here. I'm going to keep those arms nice and straight and stand up this way. If you need to, you can scoot your feet in a little bit more if you feel like you're a little unstable. Move them in a little bit, but like I said before, don't walk all the way back up to the wall. We want to keep that wide base for a stable base. So I'm here, I stand up, shuffle if I need it. This is where I'm gonna clamp down on their foot. So now I have one job, and that's do not get kicked in the face. So as they are moving, doing their thing, I actually unlock my fingers, but I am keeping tight control over their foot the entire time, because I guarantee whether it's their first race or they've done races that have never gotten over this wall, or it's just like it's an adrenaline rush, once somebody sees the other side of this wall, it might as well be the finish line. People get super excited, and that's where they start scrambling because they're like, yes, I see the light, and that's when you get kicked. So once you're up and they start moving, you want to maintain control of that foot, and you tell them where to go. Now, don't be pulling on them. You don't want to yank them back off the wall, but you want to maintain that control until you're out of the way. So now they're in their position. Your last move is going to, you still have control over that foot. Lean away, squeezing that foot the whole time. Once you're at arm's length, that's when you're going to let go of the foot and say clear, nice and loud. Okay? That's how they know that they are free to continue over the wall. Now, a couple of things. Like I said, maintaining control of the foot, not only does it keep you from getting kicked in the face, but if there's a situation where they can't hear you, or it's loud, or your voice is gone, or whatever, if you're not a loud person, I know some people talk kind of like this, then in case they can't hear you, that pressure on their foot is another physical cue that they are going to be able to feel even if they can't hear. So when they're coming up, when you squeeze that foot, you're basically saying, I am ready, I have control of your foot, move up, I know that I can keep myself from getting kicked in the face. And then when you are ready to release, if they don't hear you say clear, they will feel that pressure release from their foot, and they'll know they're free to go. Especially if they're trying to go over and you're holding them back. It's like a dog when they're on the leash and they're ready to run, and then you finally like let that leash go, like, oh sweet, and they run. So it's kind of the same principle. You're maintaining control of that foot. Squeezing it says, I am ready for you to move because I am safe. And then when you let go, they know that they're free to move because you're out of the way. That being said, do not lie. What I mean by lying is, if you're this person and you're like holding the foot, and you go clear and then try and move, you'll get booted in the face. You want to hold that foot until you are clear and then say clear. Now for the person flying over the wall. So in case you're wondering why the benches are here, I didn't want to be standing on someone for like 10 minutes while I'm explaining. Well, honestly, I did, but no one volunteered. So called in the stunt double. The humans will be here in a little bit. Now, as you can see, the legs are at 45 degrees, nice and spread. So when I'm walking up, I want to come in line with the leg. So if they're out 45 degrees, I'm going to be lining up with the leg. So I've got a line from the outside, and I'm trying to work my way to the middle, because when we stand up, we want to try and create one single tower as close as we can to each other, because if I'm on and this is my base and I stand up over here, we're both just gonna tip over to the side. So I'm trying to come in this way in line with the leg, and as I move, my trajectory is as close as I can get to the same line as my base. So my first move is to, like I said, line up with the leg. Generally, like if you were to do box step-ups or any big step up, which leg are you more comfortable with? I like using the right. So if I use the right, I'm gonna come up on their right. So we're matching right to right. I want my strong leg to be the inside leg. By that, I mean the leg closest to their body while the other one is on the outside. So I'm gonna come up in line with the leg, step into the hand, and then the inside arm is gonna go on their shoulder. What I'm trying to do is, when I'm here and the arm is on their shoulder, that's in case when I go to step up, if my leg does like a weird wiggle or anything like that, it's going to hit my arm instead of their face. They will be very grateful. So, going step one is in line with the leg, stepping up onto the knee, inside hand on the shoulder. You're going to put your hand on the wall as best you can. Like I said, we're trying to make that single line, so hand on the wall as close as you can to them. And you are going to stand up nice and straight, lock out the hip, lock out the knee. If you've ever been on like a slip and slide or any kind of water slide where you dive into it, think of that, only on the wall. We're going here, like this, hand on the wall, standing up nice and straight, and wait. If you can get your hands to the top of the wall, grab it and pull. You're not trying to climb up yet. You're just trying to take a little bit of weight off the base. So grab it and support yourself to help them out. That being said, you want to stand up nice and straight and lock out, because especially when they start moving, if all of your joints are unlocked, and that's going to give wiggle room. Also, you're going to do, I call it the accordion. So if you're not locked out and you're standing here, when the base goes to lift you, you're just going to crumple in the lower body and you're not going to go anywhere. Whereas if you're locked out, as they stand up, you should feel like you're sliding up the wall. That's what you're looking for. You're waiting patiently until you feel them clamp down on your foot, as long as they're doing their job correctly. You're gonna feel that pressure on your foot. Now you know you're free to move. You're going to get up on top of the wall if you can. If you need a little more height, use your other foot, because they're gonna be holding that one, so use the other foot. You can stand on the shoulder, get more height. They're gonna be controlling that foot if they're doing their job. And then when you get up, like I warned the base, you're gonna see the other side, but you are still going to just get up, lay over the top of the wall nice and straight, because if you're laying with your stomach on the wall, you could wait there all day. So that's what you wanna do. Once you feel that pressure in the foot, you stand up on the shoulder if you need it, pull up on top of the wall, lay straight over on your stomach, and wait. Now, you should finally hear the clear and feel that pressure release, so you know that you're free to move again. And then that's where you're going to do the wall over technique, where you throw one leg over, support, blah, 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 all that other stuff. If you don't know what I'm talking about, check out my video, How to Get Over Walls Safely. So now we're gonna put it all together, and to help me out, I'm joined once again by Rich Snelling, and also joining us is Caitlin Lesnikoski, and they're gonna knock this out in one smooth motion for you, hopefully. All right, so Rich is gonna come up against the wall. He's going into his wall sit, hands over the knee. Caitlin's gonna come in, setting the inside foot and inside hand, standing up nice and straight. Once she is up and prepped, Rich is gonna grab the foot and stand up. Now she knows that she is safe to move using the shoulder if she needs to, laying over the top of the wall, where Rich will move to a safe distance, arm's length, release, and give the clear. One more breakdown just to drive in those details as they happen. So Rich comes up to the wall, goes into his wall sit where he's fallen back, letting the wall catch him. Legs are in that V, about 45 degrees. Knees are about 90. The important part is that those toes are out in front of the knees. He's going to interlock the fingers, set him over the knee that Caitlin is approaching, and he's going to wait for her. Caitlin's going to step up with the inside foot into his hands and then put that inside hand on his shoulders, protecting his face when she goes to stand up. You can actually see right here when she goes to lunge in, her arm drops down and really gets between the knee and the face, so it's really good. Now I did notice that her hand is kind of far away instead of trying to slide up in the line. She's got her left hand out to the side on the wall. I didn't notice it when they were doing it, and I didn't, otherwise I would have asked if like she was just more comfortable, like she was pushing herself into the middle, which could be a possibility if you wanted to try that, or just trying to slide up. The important part is that when she does stand up, she's going into Rich. She locks out that knee, locks out that hip, nice tense back. She's in a straight line right next to Rich's head, so they're creating that single tower going up the wall. Now she waits for him. So Rich's arms, nice and straight. He's not lifting with the arms. He's just going to stand up. So she rises up with him because she's nice and stiff. And this is the point where he's going to clamp down on her foot. So now he's got control. She is going to take her other foot, stand on his shoulder for that little bit of extra height. He's not pushing, pulling, or anything. He's just controlling that foot to keep from getting kicked in the face while she's moving. She goes up. She lays flat over her belly across the top of the wall and just waits for him. He's going to keep control of that foot till the last second. So he's holding on, turning out, getting arm's length. This is where he lets go, says a nice loud clear for her, and now she knows she's free to continue over the wall. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you learned something. I want to leave you with a few final notes. First off, communication is key. So between the two partners going on over the wall, you are supposed to be waiting, but talk to each other. Let each other know how you're doing, if you need anything, if you're doing fine, everything like that. Also, if you're in like a team of 5, 8, 12, while you're waiting for your turn to go over, or base, whichever one you're doing, then you can still help by being behind the flyer. Don't be pushing them up, but be ready to catch them if they stumble, or offering a little bit more support so they're not just trying to balance in free space. You can give them a little extra support from the sides. You can go around to the other side to help them down when they're ready, so the base doesn't have to run around himself or herself. And then if nothing else, just being there for moral support. Cheer the person on. It's going to be scary. So that confidence really helps everyone get over the wall. Remember, communication, teamwork. I'm David Funk here at Camp Rhino in Las Vegas. Stay safe out there. I'll see you on the course.